Hi, Dr. Joseph Martin here again. Well, forgiveness leads to faith, freedom, fearlessness, and love. Let me say that one more time. Forgiveness for yourself leads to faith, freedom, fearlessness, and love. This may be the most important thing you can do for your life. We all are filled with all sorts of anxieties, challenges, troubles, concerns, worries, even. And it's always better to be a warrior than a worrier in your lifetime. There are so many things that we can get caught up with in life, but the truth is, the one thing that is most important to us are loyal friendships and a truly open, loving relationship that can grow and evolve spiritually, psychologically, physically, in every way for us. This is what we all crave. It doesn't matter where you live or what age or background or orientation you are. We all need this in order to be happy. True, loyal friendships and open, growing, evolving love relationships. The only way that you can do that is to, first of all, heal all your past relationships, whether they're significant other love relationships or relationships with your parents or your siblings or your peers or your friends that need forgiveness, or with a boss or a coworker or one of your employees. And of course, we need to look at this with respect to our past lives. There may be lots of forgiveness that needs resolving, resolution, I meant to say, from your past lives, and also obviously some fears and anxieties from past lives that are coming forward as some kind of an energetic frequency field or fence that are blocking you from openly giving love, which you know you want to and need to now and always, and blocking you from receiving love. So you need to dissolve these fears, which acts as barriers or frequency fences to the sharing and the flowing of infinite, eternal, unconditional, kind, respectful love. Now, forgiveness, as the Course in Miracles states, is always about forgiving yourself. Forgiveness is accepting yourself just as you are for now, today, knowing that as you learn more about yourself and you find some self-realization on a higher consciousness level, on a higher superconscious, cosmic and Christ, Buddha consciousness level, that you are an immortal soul of pure, perfect love and kindness. And when you start to feel it, not only just think it, but feel it and realize it in your kinesthetic inner world and body, then you know that you're well on the way to understanding that forgiveness is accepting yourself with no judgments. A human earth walk is for life experience only. You're doing the best you can for what you know, but we can always grow more easily, naturally, and quickly when we open to it. And that forgiveness is just being kind to yourself, being good to yourself, being respectful with yourself at all times and all ways. And that just, what is the learning behind all this? When you find the learning, you can laugh about it, laugh at yourself, laugh at the events, your actions, your reactions, the experiences. Then you know that this is all part of forgiveness and self-growth and processing your feelings and emotions and inner states. So that's what forgiveness is for. And once you've forgiven yourself, then you can forgive others around you. Only when you're ready to deal with all your hidden anger, rage, shame, guilt, and fear, and you're truly, inwardly, emotionally ready and then capable of forgiving others for their role in your inner dramas that you've created for yourself. All for the good, all for the best, and it's all perfect, as I like to say. So, this is a part of a series. This is still an introduction to the online experiential I Am Self-Worth growth process that you can be part of when you're ready. And again, I do highly recommend that you go and see a clinical psychologist or psychotherapist, someone who is trained to deal with emotional issues and help transmute and transform and resolve these for you. This is very important. Well, fearlessness leads to faith. uh, and freedom and so on. But forgiveness is actually the key here. So once you start forgiving yourself, then faith. Well, what is faith? Now, I do not mean religious faith, because the typical definition of faith is putting some kind of unconscious hope on something that you know nothing about, in the kind of off chance, in kind of some kind of a experience of like just placing it in something else, and just in the off chance that it might be true, but you don't really know. Faith is about something you have no experience of and no realization of. That's not what I mean by true faith. True faith for me is something from an inner knowing and awareness of what is true and real for you and in the cosmos itself as well. So, faith, I have a definition that I've come up with for faith, which is fully accepting the integrity of the heart, fully accepting the integrity of your unique heart and your connection to Source. That's a deep knowing, it's a deep connection, it's a deep awareness and understanding, and it's something that can fill you with so much love and light and confidence and self worth that you will be capable of many, many, many great actions. In fact, another video will show us like how we can learn from the great mentors in our lives, the great ones who've done this with themselves, and now they can shine a light on us and show us how to do it as well. So that's what faith is. It's a deep inner wisdom and knowing and connection with Source of all that is. Now, freedom. What is freedom? Freedom is when you know the truth of the cosmos, of all of creation. You know your personal identity. You know your connection to spirit. You know who your soul is in all its infinite greatness and in an ongoing way. And the soul is so massively beautiful and expansive that it could take us a long time, many lives, to understand all of this. But let's start on the road. Freedom is knowing your soul's truth, which is the truth of the cosmos, which is that we are all one. We're all just one aspect, one diamond facet of the one great soul of the cosmos and the universe. That freedom will give you awareness, will give you courage to your long walk or road to your own personal freedom and choices and emancipation, and also your actualization. Bring all those great gifts of love and talent to the world to share with all the rest of us, so that you can co-participate and co-create in this new emerging global civilization that we are all one cell inside of. Now, fearlessness is something that's most important if you want to move forward in your life. We all have many unconscious and conscious fears. They come up for us every day and every night, and perhaps even more so now in tremulous times where the tipping point is like uncertain when it's going to happen. But there's a lot of turbulence, socially, politically, economically, relationally, in your friendships and so on, in marriages and families. And so fearlessness is what you need to honor yourself, find out who you are, and most of all, be true to who you are. Don't try to be codependent and do what other people tell you to do or want you to do or ask you to do. Set up some healthy, strong boundaries and find out who you are. Be true to yourself, first of all. This is the only way to find your freedom. And that will require you to be fearless. Now, in the warrior's way, whether it's from an Eastern perspective, a First Nations perspective, or even a Western way, the warrior is someone who is true to themselves, kind and respectful, always thoughtful and prepared, but yet can be soft and silent and open and vulnerable and kind, because they have such inner strength they can't afford to be this way in the outer world. From a spiritual perspective, you'll have to know your unity with the Tao, with the Zen, with the all that is, with the Creator, if you like, Sungwaitism we say in Mohawk, with the one great light of the Source. And fearlessness from a psychological perspective means you do need to take all these fears one at a time and energetically do a fear circle healing, which will be part of our online training. that you'll discover, and that you'll know how to transmute fears into love, courage, strength, decision, and action. So eventually, over time, you will be able to come to deal with most of your fears, maybe even all of your fears. Things can move quickly once you make a decision for it, and come to the last great fear, which is the fear of death, and realize that you can transmute that as well and come to a full acceptance of the richness of life and have infinite energy in order to live this life now. When you do all of this and come to the end of it all, you will realize that the process, and it is one step at a time, and it's the path that's most important, not the end goal. It's the enjoyment of the adventure of every step of the exciting day by day experience, night by night experience. You will come to experience of greater self-love, which is what this is really about and what it's for. Love means light. Be the light you are from inside out. O stands for openness. V stands for being vulnerable at all times with all people in all circumstances and events. And E is for empathy and energy and endless excitement. To do this, you'll need to follow what I call the lovely acronym of like the eagle, which is like soar. Soar stands for surrender, then open, then allow the light and the love and the knowledge and wisdom to come in, and then accept who you are for who you are at this moment, and accept that spirit is moving in your world and your life and your energy field and your awareness, and then release any blockages, transmute and resolve those, whether they're anger, sadnesses, or fears. Then regenerate yourself and allow yourself to have an experience of higher spiritual, psychological resurrection, which is a great term that's part of our ongoing energy field as human beings. So I wish you love, and I wish you the great capacities and excitement and adventure of soaring like the eagle, the great spirit, so that you can realize who you are, emancipate yourself, forgive yourself, and find that inner faith, freedom, and fearlessness. God bless. Om Namah Shivaya.